How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brown Logan, and today is Monday, September the 18th of 2017. And earlier today, Nancy Pelosi had this meeting or press conference or whatever you want to call it. You know how politicians do. They go out there, they got a podium, people beside them. And in this case, you had the Dreamers behind her. And the whole point of the actual event was to support the Dreamers. I guess talk about what they're going to do politically, and everything started off well.
Again, you have spoken to our dreamers by welcoming them so wholeheartedly. Our nation's dreamers are an inspiration to all of us. With their courage, with their patriotism, they embody the promise of America, the American dream. That's so beautifully named, our dreamers, to keep that dream alive. As
it seemed like it was going well, I guess some people did not think that it was going well. So then they came in to interrupt, and that's when things went awry. Well, what I'm going to do right now is go ahead and roll that video. But before I show it to you, I just want to say that these people are not really fighting for what the media is saying they're fighting for. So after we get done watching the video, I'm going to come back and tell you what they were fighting for exactly, what they really wanted. And I also want to talk about the irony behind it and how sweet it is. So without further ado, go ahead and roll it.
Hey. Okay, you've asked some questions. Okay. I totally agree with you. But as we fight the fight for the Dreamers, which is our... Do you want to listen or do you just want to shout? Yeah, I got it. As we fight the fight... It's clear you don't want any answers. Just stop it now. Let's stop it. Stop it. Look, I want to tell you something. Why do we do this? Since you don't want to listen, we'll have to just go. You don't want to.
Okay, so you're able to see that. You see what's going on now. I mean, this is Nancy Pelosi and everyone else's on the left's fault for allowing these people to exist. First of all, before I even get into Nancy Pelosi and her situation, I just want to say that I'm seeing some articles talking about these are pro-DACA supporters shouting at Nancy Pelosi. No. As you can see in the video, they said, we are not dreamers. All 11 million what? It's not 11 million dreamers. You know, currently right now it's 800,000 people that are on DACA. That's the dreamers. They're talking about everybody that's illegal. We want amnesty. That's what they want. This was a pro-amnesty protest. It was not a pro-DACA protest. It's a difference. See, the DACA supporters, go through all kind of hoops. You know, I'm not a big fan of DACA, but it does have some standards. Okay, you cannot just be here, and not do anything. Like, you got to be able to sign up for and go through a few things. Right now, I wish it wasn't here, but that's just the reality of it. They're saying now we want to have everybody included. So they want DACA to basically become amnesty. That's what the whole point of the protest was. Now, you saw Nancy Pelosi. I mean, part of me is like you had a devil on your shoulder and an angel on your shoulder. The devil was saying, yo, you know what? Look at her. She's shaking. Her hands are shaking. She's petrified of these people. This is what she gets. But the angel on my shoulder is saying, you know what? This is an old lady. She's shaking. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not something that I should be laughing at. But at the same time, what I do is I just resort back to reality. And I look at what she has done recently, like when she called Steve Bannon a white supremacist live on TV.
It's a stunning thing that a white supremacist, Bannon, would be a permanent member of the National Security Council and dismissing Chairman of the Joint Chiefs and the Director of National Intelligence as permanent members.
So when you do stuff like that to people, when you put out false allegations about people, when you lie to people, when you're corrupt politically, when you do not serve your constituents very well, it's hard for me to have any kind of sympathy for you. It is what it is. You have created Nancy Pelosi. You have created this Frankenstein. Now the Frankenstein has turned on you. It's just like when somebody raises dogs to fight. Okay. At a certain point, the dogs might not just fight other dogs. They might fight you when you're asleep. They might come up and chew your head clean on off. Right. So I have no sympathy for anybody that does that. You have created this kind of environment by these people being basically emboldened by you to say, you know what, we're illegal. We can do whatever we want to do. And the reason beyond this, the whole amnesty thing, the reason why they're protesting is because she's talking to Trump. Now, isn't that ironic? You got the left cannibalizing the left because the left wants to do with the president. It does not make any sense, but I see that same kind of thing on the right sometimes. That's why I was kind of confused about, people burning their Trump hats. It's like, for what? He has to work with the left at a certain point. I would like for the left not to be there. We can just work amongst ourselves, but that's just not living in reality. You got to work with the other side. Now, all I can hope for is that the best thing for America comes as a result of the meetings. But you cannot just say we're not going to have the meetings at all. We're not going to talk. That doesn't make any sense. You still got to be able to communicate to the person that is in the office. You also got to communicate with those that are not in the main office, but do have some office. I mean, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, these are powerful people. You got to be able to cut deals with them in a certain kind of way to be able to govern effectively. You can't just do nuclear option all the time. You got to be able to preserve your seats in the House and Senate. You got to do certain things to be able to push the nation forward. Now, if you're able to come to a bipartisan agreement that works best for all Americans on both sides, right? I'm cool with that. Me personally, I'm not really going for gay marriage or anything like that. But if most Americans, like when I say most, I mean not just like in big cities and that's it. I'm talking about across, geographic. If they say it's cool, then I'm cool with it. That's what you're supposed to have. It can't just be my way all the time. I would love for it to be that way. I'd love to be like an almighty ruler and the king, but that's not the system we have. The system we have is set up to where somebody that you may not like is in office, but they have all kind of checks and balances that make them come to some kind of middle ground or would at least encourage it. And definitely beyond just encouraging and making sure that a middle ground is reached, it makes sure they do not have absolute power. All these executive orders and stuff like that, they can only do so much. You can't really be writing laws and all that. That's why you have different branches of government. That's why you have separation of power. That's the way it's supposed to be. And shout out to Trump for making deals or trying to make deals with the other side occasionally. I don't necessarily like it, but at the same time, this is what has to be done if you're the president. And Nancy Pelosi, again, this is what you've created. You, Chuck Schumer, everybody on the left, all these crazy Maxine Waters. This is what they've created. Is your fault. So I see you with your hand shaking. Like I said, the angel and devil, the angel telling me, you know what? Be nice. She's an old lady. The devil saying, you know what? Oh, well, her fault. And I tend to side with the latter, considering what she has done, what has been documented on camera and on paper. So what do you think? Do you think Nancy Pelosi deserved what she got during this situation that she had, this press conference meeting or whatever? Is it by her own hand? Do you think she did not deserve that? Do you think these people, these protesters should have been rounded up by ICE right then and there? You know what? As I close, Nancy Pelosi, she would have made me a fan right then and there if she was to call up ICE and say, you know what? Hey, we got a lot of illegals in here protesting. Pull up the van and put everybody in it. Get the plastic ties, lock them up. And then, take ID cards if they have them and send them back to their country of origin. That would have been the perfect moment for me to come to some kind of bipartisan agreement with Nancy Pelosi. But aside from that, hey, it is what it is. Hopefully this is a lesson to the left that the left is not necessarily on your side. You have your own point of view coming from the ivory tower in the sky that you live in Washington, D.C. or whatever other enclave of D.C. you live in. You look at the world through rose-colored lenses or through Democrat-colored lenses. Once you actually out there in the belly of the beast, in this case, San Francisco, now you're seeing what the actual results of what you're doing are. And really, as I close through this time, I'm willing to bet that a lot of them probably work in Silicon Valley. They probably make a lot of money. Not all of them are going to be so-called undocumented, but really illegal aliens. They're just out there virtue signaling, but a lot of them are. But anyway, regardless, pull up the ICE van, let everybody out. You have to go back. So whatever your comments are, let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.
You have to go back.